I want to talk now, I guess, about the way we've set up our dealership. And first off, let me tell you, this has been probably the eighth or ninth dealership that I've been a part owner in or a general manager in. So I've got some experience in car dealer industry, quite honestly, inside the business. And so, one thing that I want to point out, for the past 5 years since I opened up this last dealership, I've never had a overhead, never had expenses going out for my insurance, for my lot fee, or my lot rent, or anything like that. And that is such a peaceful feeling. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about how we avoid paying overhead, worrying about paying overhead. We never take profit off of a car to pay our overhead. That's just not the way it's done for us. Our overhead is based on volume, our processing fees. So what we do is we take $200, as I've said before, from each car, and we allocate that to overhead. So if a car makes $2,000, $200 goes into the processing fees. And what pays our overhead here is the processing fees. So if we sell, our overhead, generally runs between $2,500, $3,000 a month. So it's based on a 15 car minimum that we have to sell to pay that overhead. That's the minimum that this dealership has to sell. Now, keeping in mind, when we're trying to maintain approximately 10 wholesalers, or 8 wholesalers in addition to Shane and myself, it's relatively easy. And for the past 5 years, we've never had to come out of our pockets as being the owners of the dealership to pay our overhead. All of our profit stays in our pocket. And that is what we really strive to do. 15 cars a month, that's what the dealership gets. That's the processing fees. That pays the overhead. The wholesalers, myself included, Shane, all the other guys get to keep all their profits. But everybody shares $200 to each car to go into paying the overheads. In the past 5 years, we have never, ever had to take profits out of our pockets and put back in to pay the rent. Everybody has always done their part in selling cars. They've made some darn good livings. I cannot stress to you enough that taking your profits and applying that to your overhead is just not a good idea. If you just concentrate on that volume, sometimes we'll sell a car short just to get that $200 processing fee. Not very often, but occasionally, if we're looking at volume, we know we've got to have that 15 car a month. We wish that every one of them made between $1,000 and $2,000 profit. The majority of them do, but they all at least bring $200 into this dealership. So I really want to strongly encourage you, as I've said in other videos, take your own sales, apply $200 to your own sales, recruit wholesalers, bring them in, collect a $200 processing fee from their sales, letting them keep the balance. That's going to pay your overhead. And when you've got your overhead paid, it's absolutely amazing the freedom that you have in this business or any other business when you're not having to take that money out of your pocket. You're contributing each day to it. So really look at the wholesaler program. Again, I know that I've said that in other videos, but stay away from paying for your overhead out of your profits. Please subscribe to this channel.